For those of you who watch often, you know we're in Southeast Ohio. It is late March and I woke up to snow this morning and the car was covered. It's since warmed up and most of it has melted off. As I look around, I'll say all of it's melted off. But I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but we're getting some, it's spitting some snow right now. So temperatures are high 30s. I'm gonna get into a couple things today. I am thinking about spring food plots and prepping for fall food plots. So one of the things that I'm doing, I'm going to run around and do some soil samples. So if that's something you're interested in, tag along. I'll show you a little bit of the property and some places where I'm going to do some soil samples. One of the things I want to plant this year is, I just got this, the guy just dropped it off for me, Real World Wildlife Products. It's their clover chicory mix. I am not a buck on the bag kind of food plotter, so I usually get a mix from the local seed company. Not a mix, I get some seed and I mix it myself. I've had pretty good success, but I thought I'm going to give something a try. It was, I think right around $30, and just see if their mix does any better than what I've been putting together. If it doesn't, I'll stick with what I've always done, but if it does, maybe I need to switch up my approach to it. So this is what I'm planning. If you've used this, I'd be interested in a comment. Let me know what kind of luck you've had with the Real World Clover Chicory Mix. One of the places I'm looking at planting it is on this gas line behind me, but I got some work to clean it up. They came through, if you saw the video a few weeks ago from gas line maintenance, they came through with a big brush hog on the front of a skid steer and just cut everything to the ground. So I got a little cleaning up before I can plant my seed mix in, but I'm planning on doing this hill right up here, and I'll be able to see it from the house. So I'll be interested in seeing how much the deer use it. There's not another like clover type food source anywhere close by, so really interested in seeing how it does. So anyway, I'm going to do a few soil samples. Other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a Garage Mahal update. And let me tell you, when people say, I don't know, what is it, life is stranger than fiction, truth is stranger than fiction, dude, I got an update for you today. Hang around for the story, because it's one of those that just makes you go, are you kidding me? So I'll give you that update. Yeah, it's interesting. So anyway, I'm gonna go jump in the four-wheeler. We'll go do a little running around. I'll tell you a little bit more each spot that I stop, and the soil samples that I'm doing. So hey, let's go do that, and I'll tell you what's up. Okay, I'm at the first spot where I'm going to do some soil samples, and this is probably the most favorable location where I would expect success. I'm on the neighbor's property. They have, I'm going to call it, I don't know, 15 or 20 acres here that has been planted in beans and corn, for years. In the last several years, last year it was fallow. The year before, I believe it was in beans that year. It's not been farmed year after year since the gentleman who owned the property and then passed it on to his family, since he passed away. But they've had success in this area, planting beans and corn. The soil gets amended. Good success here. So I think this is a good spot for us to try. And what I'd like to do in this spot, I'm going to take some soil samples. But what I'd like to do here is a variety of planting methods. That our goal is to show different ways of doing this and what the result looks like. So I want to lay out an acre here, and we will look at doing a section where we just broadcast right into a brush hogged area that's been prepped with glyphosate. I'd like to till an area, and I would like to till and broadcast on that, and then take another area and till and drill into it. So we've got three scenarios we're going to play out here and just see how they go. So this is spot number one. This is a row cropped field, a field that's been row cropped in the recent past. So let me get the soil probe, and I'll take a few soil samples. Okay, I actually ended up with a pretty good sample here in the field. This area right in here is a little bit lower and wet and muddy. Good to get a sample from there. All of this will have to be dried out some. We'll mix it up real good, and we'll come up with a good sample out of here. I took about 5 samples out of what's going to be a 1 acre spot. So from here, we're gonna head on to the next one. I'm gonna change up my process a little bit. I'm gonna get a bucket, so I'm not trying to go right into a bag, and we'll go talk about the other spots. So I want to show you what a soil sample from the strip mine looks like. I've taken a few elsewhere, and they've all come out this way. We'll see how this one looks. So we're gonna go in. Looks like we've got about probably 10 inches, and this thing's bottomed out. Well, I lost most of my sample there, so all I've got is the top couple inches. I'm going to remove that, and we're going to try another one. All right, let's try right over here. All right, this actually doesn't look too bad. Here's what I was looking for. So, all right, I don't know how well you can see this, but it's definitely got clay. So what do we got? We got about 8 to 10 inches there of soil sample. But the interesting part is this bottom section. This is where it bottomed out and hit. We've got about that much soil that we're working with, and then I get to this stuff, and I don't know how well you can see it, but it is this gray, nasty stuff, and that's what we've got all over the strip mine. So we've got about that much soil to work with before we get into that junk. That's why we want to do some work to improve it out here, so that top several inches is the best it can be. All right, I promised you a barn update, and here goes. You can see it over my shoulder. It hasn't changed a lot. I've been through the details with you, so not a whole lot to share, but you can see the front now. They've framed up the doors. They've started putting metal around the doors, so you can get a sense for where my 2 garage doors are. And here on this side, you can see where the man door is going to be. So he tells me he's intentionally not put metal on the front because he doesn't want to mess it up with the concrete truck, and this is where they're going to be working in and out. So I get it, that's what he's shooting for, but anyway, you can see a little bit. So he has done some work. He's got all the sides, the metal on the sides, the eaves are done, so that is good. This last week, I think he worked maybe 2 days. One day was a 3 or 4 hour day. Yesterday he was here for, I don't know, maybe 5-6 hours. So, that's a long day for him. I can't hardly get him here. But, so here's the kicker. Here's the deal that you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. So I told you a few videos back that he suffered a loss in his family. And at that point I said, sometimes there's some things more important than the barn, and some people, you just got to give them time to deal with those types of things. Well, the loss was his ex-wife. So he felt like he needed to help support his son through this. And I couldn't blame him. So I got a little irritated the other day when he wasn't showing up, and there's some things I haven't trusted him on, and I decided I was going to go take a look and see if I could find her obituary. Something clicked, and I said, did this woman really die? So I went and looked for the obituary, and I couldn't find it. I looked at the town they were in. I looked at surrounding towns. There's no obituary for this woman. So from there, I started digging around and went to Facebook, found his son on his account. I went and looked at his son's page. Not a single person went to his son's page and said, "Sorry to hear about your mom." Seemed pretty strange to me. So I searched his son's page until I found his mom's name, and I reached out to her. I called her work and said, "Can I talk to her?" And I won't use her name, but I asked if I could talk to her, and they said, "Yeah, just a minute." Holy cow, just as I thought, she's not dead. She's not dead. So I called, I talked to her. She gave me an earful about this guy. Absolute earful. I was livid and decided that when he showed up again, we were going to have a talk about what he's doing here, and I was going to spring it on him that I talked to his dead ex-wife. So he showed up Friday. I came out here to talk to him, and I think he's a little irritated with me because the night before he had told me he wasn't sure he'd be here because he needed help, and I gave him a list of things that he could do without help. So I think he's a little irritated with me. He's probably tired of me pushing him, but 5 months into a barn project, he needs some pushing. So we talked, and at the end I said, any idea who I talked to yesterday? No. I said, your dead ex-wife. He didn't blink. He didn't stutter. He didn't pause. He looked at me and he said, no, you didn't. We buried her a few weeks ago. I said, I'm telling you, I found her, I called her at work, and I talked to her. And he said, nope, you didn't. Plain as that, looked me right in the eye as though I'm the crazy one. Nope, you didn't. And I said, well, I did. And she said that your son is with her. Nope, I've got my son. That's person you talked to, that's my old girlfriend. Has the same name as my ex-wife. Absolutely blew me away. I just looked at him and said, dude, I don't know what to believe out of you at this point. I said, but you got one screwed up life. And it just blew me away. The ex-wife called me again the other night, and we ran through stories about the contractor of what he's told me, and she laughed at all the stuff and said, that's not true, and that's not true, and that's not true. At this point, he calls her she's the crazy one, and she says he's the habitual liar. It's insane. So anyway, I'm telling you, every single thing other than his name and like 2 or 3 other things, there were very few things that she said, yes, that's true. So I don't know a whole lot about him is what I'm finding out, even though he's done work for me for almost a year and a half. But, or I guess almost a year. But anyway, I've gone back and forth on what I'm going to do about it. And I mean, he just completely denied it. And part of where I'm at, I still feel like he owes me some work. So I'm not rocking the boat. As long as he continues to show up and do work, we'll keep going forward. But at the end of the day, if I got a contractor that lies, other than the fact that he's not getting the barn done as fast as I want, the quality is there. I like what he's doing. I'm just irritated with his delays, and frankly, I don't like working with a liar. But that'll limit me doing anything more with him, as will his inability to deliver in a timely fashion. But anyway, that's the story on the Garage Mahal, where we stand. And yeah, crazy stuff. So hope you found the day interesting. I enjoyed being out. I enjoyed collecting the soil samples and just thinking about getting food plots done or getting them in this year. So anyway, I'll let you go. Keep in mind what we say, outdoors is always in season, even when it's just spitting snow and kind of a nasty day. I'll find a way to get out and enjoy the day. So have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.